Devin Brown, the Ohio State quarterback, who actually earlier in the offseason had some very interesting words when he was asked about why he didn't go into the portal. He said that he was not a quitter. You have been really on this topic. I give you a lot of credit for it. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you think about Devin Brown potentially being a riser this spring at quarterback?
Yeah, this caught my attention when Chimdi Chekwa, who does the Ohio State podcast on Believe, had tweeted about it. And I dug a little deeper, read a couple articles that I could find. There's a couple clips that have been out there. As you mentioned earlier, like, we're not on the Ohio State beat. We're not at the Ohio State practices. I don't know I don't have any sourcing on the coaching staff to really know where this is going. But it seems like when Devin Brown wasn't considered to be a good enough of a passer and was considered to just be an athlete, that he was never going to really have much of a shot of getting onto the field. And It seems like that there's this speculation and discussion that he has taken a huge step forward as a passer. That's what's caught my attention. I said when they hired Chip Kelly, is the better fit to run what he likes to run offensively.
Fair.
Devin Brown. I just find it interesting that he made these comments at the time that he did, that he's not going to be a quitter, that he's going to stay. I don't think that's going to stick. I think that somebody's going to call.
Said something to him, and that's why he said that?
As in, told him he still has a shot?
Well, here's the first thought I had. Yes. This is the first thought I had when you sent this to me. Okay, when he had the comments about I'm not a quitter, and do you think that maybe that Will Howard might just be a backup piece and Devin Brown might be the guy that they're trying to develop and get ready for the season? Meaning that, look, Devin Brown has a lot. This is what I mean. Devin Brown has a lot of risk for being the day one, game one starter, because we've seen him in the bowl game. He didn't do great. And if he goes out there game one as a starter and doesn't do good, you have Will Howard behind him where you don't fall flat on your face and somebody that can be competent in this offense. This is what I think happened, okay, now that things are unraveling here. I think they did tell Devin Brown that they're going to give him the shot because he's been there. But I think that they're going to make Will Howard beat him out. He hasn't done that clearly yet here. And I do believe that Devin Brown, who, by the way, has the worst quarterback number in the face of the planet in the history of football, I do think, Joe, that they're hedging their bets. Let the best man win. By the way, he's not going to be the best quarterback on that roster next year. It's probably going to be Aaron Nolan or Julian Sayin, which one wins that out, okay? So I'll just say this. I think that they're hedging their bet that they're going to give Devin Brown the shot here this spring, but if they don't feel like he's ready enough, Will Howard's going to step up into that role and take it over, and they got a good, experienced quarterback that can take it over. That is how do I want to say this? I feel like that is what am I trying to say here? That's the last option for them. They give it to Devin Brown, see if he can do it. If he can't, we got a very serviceable quarterback that can win it for us here.
I feel like what's going to end up getting in the way is that they've already made promises to Will Howard. You know, you make a commitment to a guy like this and you track them to come to your program. I would sincerely doubt that they spoke to him with the intention of like, yeah, you'll get to compete to start. Otherwise, he might be at USC right now competing with Miller Moss. I just look at their dynamic and assume that Will Howard will end up starting. I really hope, though, that if Devin Brown is doing as well as he is, and if mid-tier SEC Big Ten programs that need a quarterback are seeing this happening, that he would be smart enough to take an opportunity elsewhere. That's kind of my take on it. Don't waste your talent. Don't waste your time. I know that you want to be a part of the program and you don't want to be a quitter, was what he said. I'm trying to think of like who would be a program that would need somebody like him.
Well, let me tell you let me get to my thought here too on one final thing. This is what I told you earlier in the show, and I will repeat it. I don't buy shit coming out of fall camps or spring camps, rarely ever.
Well, it's like rumor season with the NFL draft. Take advantage of the fact that there's buzz around your name and go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm talking about for me and you. from me and you to project about the season, I'm not buying it because, Joe, there comes a – let's call it what it is. We've seen this kid multiple times, and you and I both know how bad he looked. If what they're saying is true, you're talking about, Joe, quite honestly, a Burrow-type leap. The guy behind me. Yeah, Joe.
Wait.
You realize how bad, okay, that he was. A Burrow leap, man. Joe wasn't even remotely close.
I don't want to use that phrasing.
Okay. Let me not use that. Let me not use that.
Just a big leap forward, just like a huge step forward.
Okay. Well, I mean, what would you call it? Would you call it a Jaden Daniels leap? Like, who was bad the year before and then came back up and did something?
Well, I mean, it's unprecedented.
I got one for you. You're gonna hate it, but it will work. Is it a Stetson Bennett leap?
I just think it's unprecedented because he wasn't even on. He was so bad he couldn't get on the field.
That's my point. So again, we're talking about a massive leap that would have had to have happened here, Joe, in less than a month and a half. We're not even 90 days, or we're about 90 days in till the last time that they played a game, right? And so you mean in the last 90 days he became Joe Montana on the spot? He's so good, his name's Joe Montana. Okay, like that movie gets me every time. Joe Montana. My only point is here, I call a little bit of bullshit. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I know. I understand. I mean, that's why I said it earlier that like we have to take everything with a grain of salt that's coming out of camp. I find it interesting that there's buzz for him, and I would argue that it's in his best interest if there is buzz to take advantage of it. Like him sticking at Ohio State, if they're making him compete, is just it's silly. And I don't know who off the top of my head, like
Julian Sain's gonna wind up winning that thing. If they really opened it up, Julian Sain would win it.
Well, I mean, I find it interesting that you hyped up the Will Howard edition, and then now.
No, I'm talking about like if I think regardless of what Will Howard does, he'll play. Can I tell you, Joe, why go and get him?
Why go and get Julian Sain?
No, why go and get Will Howard? I mean, that's the massive question.
They wanted an experienced player in the room.
No, you and I both know why they went after Will Howard. What is it?
Because of Kyle McCord.
And because Devin Brown stunk.
This is the whole point of me bringing it up, though, is that like now all of a sudden, if he's competitive, what does that do to the room? What does that do to the situation? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like where would make sense for him that he could go to.
If Devin Brown left, can I tell you what would have to happen? Because I think they got to go on a natty run here. They would have to go into the portal and grab a older quarterback, regardless of how good he is or not.
Yeah, I mean, you want to have depth. You can't turn over
to one of these freshmen. They got enough depth there. They got to go get some experience. If Julian Sain and Aaron Nolan is your second quarterback and your aspirations are to win a national title, Trevor Lawrence does not come around every year, buddy.
Sure. Yeah.
By the way, Trevor Lawrence, Julian Sain could have a meteoric rise. Where remember, Trevor Lawrence did not start the whole year. He was 6 games before he got his first start.
Right. Well, I just don't know if Julian Sain's on that same level just yet. Well, okay, wait. Here's a really good example.
So how about this?
Wait. If Devin Brown looks as good as he does, would he not start at Auburn?
Oh, fuck. That's a
good fit.
Question.
That's a great fit for Hugh Freeze. Payton Thorne stunk. And I haven't heard a goddamn thing
Brown
about it.
Was worse. Here's a question about Payton Thorne. We got 30 seconds. Why would Hugh Freeze stay with him why would he stay with him?
They tried to go get everybody, and they couldn't. They got beat out for Cam Ward and all these guys.
From Liberty, I'll admit. All right.
Awesome.
We'll see y'all on Sunday. Horrible show, Joe. You made me emotionally hurt.
BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.